Hey, man. It's crazy how, remember when you were like, hey, if you don't do this, I'll kill you if you don't hold on to the cocaine. That was crazy how that happened, wasn't it?
You got a microphone on your shirt.
No, this is...
Hello and welcome to Number One Boys, the Ringer's Succession after show. That's Jason Concepcion. I'm Chris Ryan. This is about the return, the 7th episode of the 2nd season of Succession, and that was a bummer. Anytime you can have multiple people have their figurative throat slit on a television show, you love to see it.
Oh my gosh.
Kendall putting pound bills through the door slot.
Yeah, this will make up for it, I guess.
The victim's family that he manslaughtered.
Clearly under the influence of numerous drugs, stumbling in the night.
It was
Not
just
good.
a rough scene. So we're gonna buy or sell on this episode that was one of the darker, less like kind of bulletin board material episodes I think I can remember, but it's still like a lot of movement. So let's do buy or sell. Do you think I should go tell Bill about this?
Yeah, you should definitely. I think he's in there with Lorne Michaels right now, but like I think he always.
I should tell him, right?
You should definitely tell him. You should tell him right now. I think he would. This is the kind of news. Like, he always says he doesn't want to be interrupted, but that's like a thing you say to test people.
Right. So like if like this rises to the level.
100%.
Okay.
1,000%. Go. Why are you even sitting here right now?
Jason, what are you buying?
I'm buying betrayal. What does it even mean when you are in a world, inhabiting a world in which betrayal is like with a coin of the realm?
Yeah.
Really, the thing to do is to betray somebody, and then when they call you on it, act absolutely aggrieved that they would dare suggest that you would betray them. I think that, the game that Rhea and Logan ran on Shiv is unbelievable in its audacity, and also Shiv walked into this.
It's like pre-glacier melt, Arctic Circle cold.
Just used her own desire for, recognition and her own ambition to like get a piece of something, and used it against her in the most devastating of ways, and unbelievable. Just when you think like Logan, after slapping his son in the face, can't get worse. He actually gets much more depraved and worse.
Let's just run through Logan Roy's fathering techniques.
Yeah.
Blackmails his son after his son commits murder, essentially.
Yeah.
Slaps his other son in the face after exiling him to an amusement park.
Yes.
Dangles the CEO and then basically running his company to his daughter.
Yeah.
And then essentially plays mind games with her for most of the season.
And dangles in a way that felt so sincere and heartfelt at the time.
Yeah. And then as far as betrayal goes, with what you're talking about, I'm still kind of like wondering what is it? What about Marcia here? Like, is he just like, I'm out on Marcia or do you think this is all a game?
Here is what I've been thinking a lot about Logan, and here is what it is. Everyone to him is a means to an end, is a piece. What he's really great at is figuring out what that person wants and offering it up as a way to get what he wants out of them, but then never actually paying. He never pays anybody back for their emotional or professional labor.
Not at all.
Think about the contractor. The raccoons aside, he never intended to pay that guy.
Ever.
In every deal, he doesn't want to pay. And additionally, his business is his life, right? It's very intimate to him.
It's a family business. Exactly.
So professional and intimate relationships, that's all the same thing. And in those relationships, he never intends to offer a fair deal. Look at the way he treated Marcia. Treated Caroline, Lady Caroline.
Yeah.
It's, hey, I'll go as high as 50, but offer her 10, and it would make me really happy if you would screw her over in this. He wants to screw everyone over. That's just the way he is. In every single relationship that he has, He wants to not pay the full amount.
While still giving somebody just enough to keep them addicted to him.
That's exactly what it is. He gave Lady Caroline 3% of the business.
Yes, yeah.
He gave Marcia, clearly Marcia thought that she was in this relationship as a co-equal partner, not the case. And now that Marcia has ambitions to rise above her stations, kind of bucking the reins, let's get Rhea in there.
Be interesting. Keep in mind that line from I think last week when Marcia says, and our Jestes, when Marcia said to him, "I know exactly who I married."
Right.
And she meant it as a compliment, but it'll be interesting to know how well she actually knows her husband. I'm
What are you
buying sibling solidarity.
Yeah.
Usually Succession is about sibling rivalry. At the very last shot of this episode, pretty much, we get what we've been looking for, which
Fascinating
is what's been
moment.
happening since Safe Room between Kendall and Shiv. And whether or not there had been some sort of breakdown in their relationship after he kind of came to her and is like, "It's not going to be me, but I hope if it's you, you have a place for me." We sort of saw this hostility between the two of them over the last couple of episodes, even through this episode.
Yeah.
And then at the end of the episode, with Rhea on the plane, with Rhea making her move, Shiv calls Kendall from her car. He's on the plane. He knows exactly how to handle it.
Yeah.
He's not like, "Hey, Shiv, are you calling me?" He's like, "Hey, yeah." They have a plan. And so what is that plan? And also now, it'll be really interesting, and people with some time on their hands can do this. I look forward to doing it myself. Going back over the last 3 episodes, if indeed this is a partnership, and rewatching their scenes together and rewatching their scenes just in general. Obviously there's a little bit of Kendall that's just going off the rails right now, but you take in our Jestes in the panel talk, and Kendall almost willingly walking into machine gun fire so that Shiv can dunk on him.
Right.
Somewhat setting her up to be the controversial hero figure in that panel talk. Was that something they planned in the beginning? Is that why they were so nervous about the 3 of them walking out there and Roman being like, "I'm gonna mess this up"?
Yeah.
But I'm really curious about, Shiv knows that she screwed up with her Rhea conversation. She walked into a trap to some extent, but how much have they been planning?
I've been picking over the "we have a problem" line. I guess on one hand, you could look at that as saying we, as in the siblings, have a problem, but I
think it's the two of them.
I love that idea that they've been, maybe in an unstructured way, Kendall has been working towards making Shiv the palatable choice for CEO.
Yeah, and you think about even the way that Shiv's voice changes when she called Kendall. It's not like, "I'm calling to call you a piece of shit. I'm gonna open with some banter." It's immediately, "Hey, we have a problem. Is she on the plane? I think I walked into a trap." That's she gets right after it. So the Kendall Shiv thing is gonna be huge in these last couple of episodes.
Amazing.
What are you selling?
I'm selling Shiv because, man, you just can't, don't even take that meeting. With Rhea Jarrell, why? What's the
Especially with Rhea setting it up by saying Shiv's not as smart as she thinks she is.
What's she doing here? Why is she in England? Why is she in London at this particular time? What's the upside to taking this meeting? There's none. The idea that after being fired from PGN for essentially attempting to undercut the Pierce family, she would then have some influence with the Pierce family is laughable. Don't take this meeting.
Also, just consider the source.
Consider the source.
Why, if she's asking you for your blessing to have an affair with your dad, whether or not you care about it or not, this is already you're on unsteady ground. So why are you walking into this? I am selling motherly love.
Oh, man.
It is no surprise these people are so fucked up.
Lady Caroline, what the fuck?
When Lady Caroline is when Shiv says, "Who cares, Roman? It's all numbers," that's so obvious, but her just being like, "I either get Christmas with you or I take this mansion in the Hamptons that's worth $150 million. Also, the devastating scene again is her just being like, "We could talk about
and Kendall was
your deep emotional pain, but maybe we should just do it over an egg. Psych, I'm breaking out the back door."
Is it terrible right now? Because I'm quite tired, and if it's something heavy, wouldn't it be great to do it over an egg? It's what? Are you kidding me?
She's amazing. It's just these people are so damaged, but you can see why. And also, she's equally a part of this kind of she's only interested in doing things to drive Logan crazy.
That's it. Her very children, are merely a means to annoy her ex-husband.
Yes.
That's it. She doesn't care that they would be with her on Christmas. She just wants them to not be with Logan because that's like an expression of winning one over him.
Although she does seem to have, when she says to Shiv, like Shiv agrees with her, and she's like, "Oh, finally solidarity after 20 years or whatever." It's like, so she does seem to have some, like maybe there's an original wound there, but for the most part, she just seems interested in screwing Logan. So, are we done with buy and sell?
Let's get rid. Yeah, I'm done.
Let's get in the number one boy. I'm gonna go Rhea.
Yeah.
But it's like, I'm going Rhea the way you would go for like a clearly shitty NFL team that won in week 1. Like, I think Rhea is on a hot streak right now.
She's on a hot streak.
But I'm shorting it, but I'm giving her number one boy.
You know, it's kind of like, one of my favorite video games is Skyrim, and it's kind of like when you walk into a cave where all these adventurers have gone before and all their bodies are just like littered before you. Rhea is like entering this like cave of the ancients thinking, oh, I'm gonna be the one that wins the CEO job from Logan Roy. And it's like that path is just littered with skeletons. She definitely won though and has acquired some part of Logan's power, but it's like, this is not gonna end the way she thinks. Although, two vipers like Logan and Rhea, like clearly she is also like not going into this eyes closed and must be thinking of ways that she can also stab Logan in the back.
She's definitely also learning to speak Roy.
Oh, yeah.
Like that whole scene where they're sitting there with Shiv's memo and just eviscerating it, which is like, honestly, like that's like anxiety dreams for me. Like,
yeah, I love the font.
It's like a bunch of my friends and
extravagant.
family sitting around looking at my writing like...
When she is analyzing each of the children in turn with Logan in terms of their fitness for the CEO job, and then she's like, well, Shiv, not as smart as she thinks she is, as you said. Roman, he could actually be good. My jaw dropped. Yeah. And I'm trying to figure out, like, does she really think that? Is that the show trying to tell us, look how crazy these people actually are? Like, their ways of analyzing. Or is she
trying to, like, up Roman stock because Roman inevitably can't live up to it?
It's like, what is the games within games? I have no idea.
Let's go to biggest burn of the week.
Oh, my God.
When I'm over there, my favorite thing to do is to get a warm flat beer.
Oh, yeah.
Because it's like I like to think about urine while I'm drinking, and then I like to get a plate of chips, which are fries, and just put chips on it. You know, so just crisps and chips at the same time because I'm just cutting out like all the like garnishes.
Oh yeah.
So I just go straight potato and urine beer.
I love it.
Yeah. And that's at the nice restaurants. Roman. Bringing back an oldie but a Grady. Roy Boy's on tour, and we got him in all sizes, alpha, beta, and cuck. And looks right at Kendall. And, you know, cuck, what a run for that word.
I got to tell you, like, I'm happy for, you know, life takes and it gives. I'm happy that this dalliance with Naomi Pierce, which can only end badly, two addicts jet setting across the globe.
Did he even, like, ever, like, is she just still waiting for him at the zoo?
I know.
That was so sick too when he's just like, oh, I'm gonna take Naomi to the zoo. He's just like, nah, you're gonna eat shit with the people, like the family of the guy you killed.
Yeah, come hang out and look at the childhood pictures on the fridge of the man that you murdered. Come do that with me.
Isn't it weird if I bring you out here and you just sit in the car like a Labrador?
No, you should come in. In fact,
what a psycho.
And look at the ruination which you have wrought upon this family.
Oh man, what's your biggest bird of the week?
It's Rhea in that talk with Logan on the jet where she's analyzing the kids and she says about Kendall, I don't know. It's like you put him in a big diaper and now he can shit himself whenever he likes.
That's actually quite appropriate.
Also, biggest burn of the week is the show Succession on English cuisine. An absolutely brutal series of owns, starting with Roman telling Logan and what he had for dinner the last time they went over there, which was 3 dusty trout for 6 people and some mustard. And then they go over and it's like, pigeon, careful, there's still some shot in the pigeon and the shot might have pushed some feathers into the wounds.
Shot and feather.
It's like, great.
Yeah, the fact that they have to go to the convenience store and like load up on like Pringles and bananas before they go to dinner is pretty amazing.
And then he picks like some jar of like, who even knows what? He's like, is this actually is this actually edible? Is this actually for consumption? You put this out here so people can eat it?
This is for show.
Yeah.
What's your line of the week?
Oh man, I'm gonna go with Roman talking to Shiv saying, do you know nothing of the company you're supposed to be taking over? Waystar Royco, we do hate speech and roller coasters.
I'm also doing Roman when he says, when Logan says, anything you save under the 50, we can split, and Roman says, well, that ought to cover the subsequent therapy.
Who's kidding? Roman is not going to therapy.
That's actually exactly right. Let's get into Finance 101.
So I went over there and we had some boiled sheep intestine pie.
Any seasoning?
No. They did it. It's funny, when you say seasoning, they actually just are like, well, do you want us to boil it longer?
Yeah, it's like because we could take away a little bit more of the flavor to the point where it comes back around to being a flavor. Finance 101, you come for it, you
That's
need
right.
it, you want it. It's the advice on money from the guys who know money.
That's right.
Jason, this week we're talking about shareholders.
Right. Let's talk about shareholders and specifically voting stock shareholders. The other shareholders, those people that own stock in which you can't vote, fuck them.
They don't matter.
They don't
it's
matter.
actually they actually think that they own stock.
It's
but
great.
It's actually just like a piece of Bounty paper towel.
It's right. Like what I like to when I describe that kind of stock, what I like to do is go like this and go, here, how much of it do you want?
Well, it's like I've started a lot of companies.
Right.
And I've given out a lot of stock. Like everybody on camera here right now owns a piece of my e-cig company, but they actually don't have a say in how I'm using their identities to fake medical research.
Everybody,
thanks, Sean.
Everybody in the company which we founded in Mongolia that makes, quasi-legal vape fluid.
Yeah. I mean,
which is in the news
it's
right now.
Technically not fluid, but that's okay.
Right. It's kind of it's something that comes out of a rock over there. I don't know like where it comes from, but it tastes.
It's copper mixed with
Copper-ish?
microplastics mixed with pigeon feathers.
Right. Anyway, they are mostly paid in non-voting stock.
Yeah. Congratulations. That's Finance 101. Let's get into Let Them Eat Cake, the crazy rich moment of the week.
What do you got?
Mine is just like the transatlantic largesse of the Roy family.
It's unbelievable.
So like I have family in England, and like when I go to England, there's a lot of coordination.
You're not going private jet, and you're not like you don't have opinions on the various pilots that fly your planes.
No, I don't have opinions on my pilots. I'm not immediately going to my Knightsbridge apartment that probably costs 600 million pounds now. And then I don't also have a mansion in the country to retreat to, nor am I going to the Cheltenham races with a guy named the Ulsterman.
The Ulsterman.
Cannot wait for that guy to show up. So yeah, just like the largest. And then on the flip side is Naomi Pierce, who is a barely functioning recovering addict. I don't even know if
recovering is doing a lot of work.
Working like out in like Northern California, just happened to be at the biennial, and is just gonna hop over to go to the zoo with Kendall.
Has that consistently glassy, bemused look that she likes to take with her, like luggage.
There's two things. Can I ask you actually really quick?
Sure.
Are you worried more about Kendall's dick pic, or Kendall dropping a couple 100-pound notes through the mail slot of that family?
I mean, like, it's pick your poison at this point. I think it would be the pound notes, since those speak directly to his guilt in a crime which is murder.
Yeah, it's a little weird, dude, if you show up at their house the day that your dad apologized to them, and then the next day they wake up and there's like a couple 100 pounds through their mail slot. Like, it doesn't take like
that you got
Helen Mirren in Prime Suspect to figure out where that came from.
I also just love the idea of Kendall, just absolutely smashed on cocaine and alcohol, going to like 5 different ATMs because the max you can take out is like 300 pounds or whatever.
Do you have a crazy rich moment of the week?
I do, and it's the general ability that Logan has to be like, here's a figure with 3 commas and 7 zeros in it, and I'm talking about it like I'm going to the corner store to buy like a newspaper.
It could be 10, it could be 50. It doesn't.
Yeah, like 10. Like let's offer her 10 million.
But that goes back to what you were saying before. It's like at the end of the day, does he even plan on actually paying that?
No.
Does he just plan on tying people up in litigation?
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
He does not. He does not want to pay. Ever. He's not paying. Logan will not pay you.
Let's get into predictions for next week. We didn't really talk about Tom and Greg's adventure this week, but there was a very small moment.
This is wind. This is wind.
That was a very big moment. There was a very small moment when Tom goes to Greg's apartment. And Greg is having like a daytime meeting with a group of very well dressed, very good looking people. What do you think was happening with the Next Wave meeting?
Next Wave. I want to just say this. The B plot, the kind of like unseen Greg B plot in which he, 1, demands to now be called Gregory, 2, is doing cocaine, and 3 is talking to Next Wave, is incredible and needs to be its own spin-off. I am going to predict that Next Wave is a Nexium-like cult.
So I love this. I
love it.
I did not pick up on this. I thought it was more like a resistance movement thing, like where it was like, Greg, you work at ATN, you could be our mole, our guy on the inside. Let's bring down like the evil, because he's expressed before that he's like
very softly expressed.
His principles are against what ATN stands for, but you think it's something like
I think it's a Nexium-like sex cult comprised of attractive young professionals who are in over their head in various ways, and I think Greg is just like a lamb with a shaved neck to people like this. Like, get him up there and let's cut his throat.
Greg is the #1 boy.
Absolutely.
If that's the case, that is amazing shit. This has been #1 Boys. For Jason, I am Chris. We will be back here after the East Coast airing of next week's Succession. Catch us in the usual places. Thanks for watching.